The next part of your story is about finding and defeating a monster. But before we do that, we're going to look at how professional writers make their monsters really terrifying by building tension. And they do this by introducing the monster in a three-part way. First of all, you show the effect of the monster, perhaps some skeletons that the monster's already eaten. Perhaps there's a noise or a story from a passerby. Then they'll show part of the monster, an eye, a leg, a drip of drool. And finally, show the whole of the monster. And right throughout this, it focuses much more on the character's reactions than the description of the monster itself. So let's see how this works in Harry Potter. And this is the description of Aragog, who, as you may well remember, is a giant spider. And they're going looking for this spider in the woods. They walked for what seemed like at least half an hour, their robes snagging in low-slung branches and brambles. After a while, they noticed that the ground seemed to be sloping downwards, so the trees were as thick as ever. Then Fang suddenly let loose a great echoing bark, making both Harry and Ron jump out of their skins. "What?" said Ron loudly, looking around into the pitch dark and gripping Harry's elbow very hard. "There's something moving over there," Harry breathed. "Listen, sounds like something big." They listened. Some distance to the right, the something big was snapping branches as it carved a path through the trees. "Oh no," said Ron. "Oh no, oh no, oh!" "Shut up," said Harry frantically. "It'll hear you." Then to their right came a sudden blaze of light, so bright in the darkness that both of them flung up their hands to shield their eyes. Fang yelped and tried to run, but got lodged in a tangle of thorns and yelped even louder. Ron didn't speak. He didn't move. His eyes were fixed on a point some 10 feet above the forest floor right behind Harry. His face was livid with terror. Harry didn't even have time to turn around. There was a loud clicking noise, and suddenly he felt something long and hairy seize him around the middle and lift him off the ground so that he was hanging face down. Struggling, terrified, he heard more clicking and saw Ron's legs leave the ground too, heard Fang whimpering and howling. Next moment he was being swept away into the dark trees. Head hanging, Harry saw that what had hold of him was marching on 6 immensely long hairy legs, the front 2 clutching him tightly beneath a pair of shining black pincers. Behind him he could hear another of the creatures, no doubt carrying Ron. And from the middle of the misty domed web, a spider the size of a small elephant emerged, very slowly. There was grey in the black of his body and legs, and each of his eyes on his ugly pincered head was milky white. He was blind.